Hello, welcome to a quick overview of the new features in BrickBench version 0.2.2. The main new features for this are going to be things importing, I'll go over that later, new gizmos and better gizmos, and the ability to modify creatures. But there's some other stuff, some other bug fixes as well that you might want to be aware of, so to view the specifics, please check out the changelog on the website or on GitHub. So the first thing, give me real quick, we now have an auto updater. So whenever a new release comes out that isn't a pre-release, it will prompt you to automatically update it, and then it will do the update itself. You don't have to worry about that too much. It's a pretty simple system, but just so you know, when that comes up. So first, we can now go over what I mean by things importing. So BrickBench now supports the ability to import the things.pc.gsc file. So what you can do is you can take this, you can go to whatever version you're using of, which in this case, Lego Star Wars. You can go to stuff, and you can go to things.pc.gsc. So now that's imported. And now, what that lets you do is when you load up a map, like this map, or actually let me load up Tatooine C, you will notice, if you go look at a gizmo, like this one, it doesn't look like an orange rectangle. It is now using the actual in-game models from things.gsc, so that's pretty cool. You only have to do this once. If you maybe change, your things file for some reason, you can just re-import it. So yeah. So the first thing is with new gizmos is going to be the lever. So you can now add levers. These levers have a bunch of properties. The important ones are reset behavior, which is going to be if you can pull it once or if you can pull it multiple times. Attached to that is going to be your reset time. So for example, you can make it take 2 seconds to reset, or you can make it take 0.1 seconds to reset. You can change the color of this little stud. So red, yellow, blue, orange, green, purple, light blue. You can change the visibility of the body, which is going to be whether or not like the tower part is visible. The lever's always there, I believe, but if the tower is visible, and whether the floor cross is visible. So we don't actually show that in editor just to make it a bit easier to see everything, but that exists. Next thing you're going to be able to do is add hat machines. Let me pull it up a bit. There you go. So you look at your hat machine, you can see that you can edit the hat types. So we got stormtroopers, we got bounty hunters, we got the Leia hat, the fedora, the top hat, the baseball cap, and the droid panel. You'll see what that is if you test it out. And floor cross visibility, all pretty standard. One thing to note with hats is that I've personally had an issue where adding more than 3 hat machines in the map causes a crash. I don't know if that was just me, maybe my testing situation, but just be aware. Then the next thing is going to be panels, which you could see panels before, but now you can also edit them with and add and delete them. So with this one, you got your panel types like before, so you can change it. You can see that it now actually updates to show you what it would look like in game. For all of them, you can change the face visibility, which is going to be like this front area here, and the floor cross visibility. And specifically for protocol droids and astromechs, you can change the droid color. So that is, for example, in the actual panel, right when you get close, if it shows you R2D2 or R2Q5 or whatever his name is, or R4, sorry, or if it shows you C3PO or TC14. And then with astromechs specifically as well, you can change the body color, so you can make it white. That is a limitation of the game, not of us. And then finally, and this isn't the new one, but I don't know what I clicked over there. This isn't the new one, but it is pretty updated, is you can now do more stuff with the zip-ups. So we can select the zip-up. First of all, you can see it renders the hook and everything. I don't know why I put that panel in. You can make the zip-up be a zip or a swing. You can make it be 1 or 2 ways, so you can make it go either just like this or this and then back, like you would see in Lego City. You can make the hook visible or invisible, and you can make the floor stuff visible or invisible. Now, one thing when adding these gizmos and when working with them is that it is very important that you set the gizmo amount in your level TXT or in your map TXT. So if you go, for example, to Tatooine, look at A, right? Tatooine A.txt here tells you the amount of pickups, levers, zip ups, grabbles, build-it, obstacles, all that, right? This has to at minimum fit what you want. Now, from my testing, it seems that if you add more than what's here, it doesn't crash, it just doesn't do anything. But, you still don't want that, so make sure that whenever you maybe make, 20 levers or something, make sure that your level TXT or your map TXT has a correct amount of that gizmo. Next thing is going to be AI. So we had AI rendering before, but now, or AI visualization, but now you can go and make new creature spawns. You can also delete them. And very importantly, and this is the main thing with this version, you can also change the creature types. So for example, here we default to Boss Nass just because I think it'd be pretty shocking if you saw Boss Nass on most levels. So we can make this, for example, a Stormtrooper. Now that's a Stormtrooper. You can also change its script behavior, and those scripts are going to be either the scripts that you find in the scripts folder. So for example, you can make it a good one. A general party, right, which will make it follow you. You can make it defend, default wander, all that. Or the scripts that you find in your AI file, in your AI folder. So for example, you can make the Stormtrooper have the AI of a Bantha. A bit confusing, but you could do that. You can, for example, make the Stormtrooper have the AI of, like General Grievous, because that's in a different AI folder. But as long as it's your AI folder or the global AI folder, you're good to go. Worst case, you can just copy it from another folder and put it in yours. Two very important things to note with AI. First, this AI.pack file. What it does is it contains every other AI file in this folder. That's bad. You don't want that. So whenever you're doing editing, you want to delete this. Otherwise, your changes will not take effect. Now, BrickBench does this automatically. TT Mod Manager does this automatically. But if you either do some editing in BrickBench and copy it over to like a testing instance, or like you download a mod, but instead of through TTMM, just do it manually, be sure to delete those pack files, otherwise it won't work. And also, if, for example, let's say Kashyyyk, right? Say you want to add a Stormtrooper to Kashyyyk, be sure that if it is not a thing that is already in that level, that you go to the level TXT, not the map ones, not like Kashyyyk.txt, like Kashyyyk.txt, right? And add your character as a resident. So, for example, if you want to add Boss Nass, we would do this. We'll make Boss Nass. Now you're good to go. Important thing to note: these changes in the TXTs, you need to restart your game to do them. It's not like changes in maps where you just need to reload the map. With this, you have to restart the game, or I believe at the very least quit the menu. But one of those two. Last quick thing is you can now go. All the files have moved for your own personal like instance, so like config stuff, etc. That is now in Documents, BrickBench Files. So you can see config here, so there's the config stuff. Importantly, there's an export folder. Currently, you have the ability to export stuff from any maps you've opened. So the way you can do that is go to File, Settings, and then Map Loading, Dump Textures when loading, enable disable this. In the future, this is also where we'll put meshes. Just one thing, be sure not to leave this open, otherwise every map you load is going to dump a whole bunch of DDS files in. So yeah, so that's that. Be sure to check out the changelog to see all the other patch notes, and have fun.